Well with everybody. Hope all is well with everybody. Listen, so today I wanted to because yesterday I had an amazing appointment with a gentleman, and we talking. It was about 2 hours long. I had like a gap of 2 hours and a half before my next appointment. So, I chatted with this gentleman, right? And he was talking about, not retiring in America and how expensive America is and things like that, right? So it got me thinking as I was driving home because we know right now in America, retirement is going to be tough for a lot of people. And to me personally, I'm just not the type to believe a person should work forever, or a person should have it in their mind that they're gonna have to work forever. A lot of people feel that way because they feel as though I guess they have to stay in America. As a matter of fact, most people are not willing to leave America. And I'm just gonna say, if that's a thought process, it's gonna be rough for a lot of people. Because especially if you cannot save any money. Okay. I've been doing a lot of videos lately in reference to retirement and just a lot of articles that I'm getting. And one of I have a couple of my favorite of articles that I received, but one specifically is the one from AARP, and that was November of last year. They actually talked about roughly 20% of the people between the age of 50 to 66 currently do not have any retirement income, like absolutely nothing, $0 for retirement income. And that is a scary thing to think about. Again, and one of the blessings of being in the financial service industry is I sit down with hundreds of people a year, and I'm able to see in real time, the effect of not having retirement income. I'm seeing people who are scared. I'm seeing people who are nervous. I'm seeing people who are looking for a way out to retire. They don't have any hopes. See, every average person, they don't get to see this in real time. So they just think it's not a big deal until they get close to that age. Hey Dahlia, how you doing? Until they get close to that age of retirement, and it now becomes a thing. You understand? So talking with this gentleman as I was driving home. Hey Dahlia, how you doing? Yeah, today we're talking about retirement and finances and other options as a way to retire. So listen, as I was driving home, and this gentleman said he don't know if he'll be able to retire in America. I helped him put together a retirement plan yesterday, so he's starting to do it. So as I was driving home, I was talking to him about, I was thinking about different options, that a lot of people can consider when it comes to retirement. So what I want to do today is I kind of want to quickly go over some numbers with you guys, right? And now I want to go over some options with you guys because again, with AARP and what they're finding, and again, this is based on data, based on 401ks, retirement account, and things like that, right? That AARP gathered, and they say that roughly 20% of people between the age of 50 and 66 would not be able to retire because they have zero retirement income. Can you imagine how scary? I just want you to think about that for a second. 20% of the people between that age group, and you guys can Google, saying well, how many actual people that is. As a matter of fact, let me do it for you guys right now. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see here. How many people in the United States are between the age of 50 and 66 years old? Let's see what Google tells us. So between the age of 50 and 54, there are currently 10.3 million males and 10.38 million females. Between the age of 55 and 59, there are currently 10.1 million males and 10.4 million females. And between the age of 60 to 64, there are currently 10.3 million males and 10.9 million females. So we talking about roughly 50, 60 million people in America total between male and female. They are walking around here without any type of retirement income. That is a scary thought. That's a scary thing to realize that you're that age and you don't know what you're gonna do. And a lot of people don't even know how serious this is because, you know, for some reason people don't factor in the fact that what if some kind of health issue happened to me and now I'm forced out of work? What if you want to work but the jobs don't hire you because you're older and they want more of a young blood working in their company? It happens a lot. It happens a lot. I'm saying they let you go in a subtle way, but everybody know what it is. You understand? And to me, I don't think a lot of people in America understand how serious this is. I don't believe a lot of people in America understand how serious this is. And some people are in for a rude awakening because you got some people who are going to want to depend on other people like their children to take care of them, and they're going to be highly disappointed because even young folks right now can't even afford to survive. All right, let me go over this with you, right? Because the average Social Security in America right now, the average Social Security income is about $1979. $1,979 is the average Social Security. In average, you factor in people who are taking that income at a later time also. That's a huge number of people. So some people wait till they're like age 71 or something like that to start to withdraw money. Okay? So you factor in people who are in their 60s all the way to age 71. And the average Social Security is $1,979. The earlier you take Social Security, the less you get. Okay? The longer you wait, the more you get. Okay? And that's $1,979. The average 401k right now in America, and actually a few months ago was higher than this number, so which means the number dropped. So the average 401k balance right now is $134,000. $134,000. As a matter of fact, that number is probably even less because that number is inflated because they're factoring in millionaires in that number, people who are contributing $20,000 a year, $40,000 a year. You understand? They're factoring, multi six-figure earner who are doing $10,000 a year, $20,000 a year. Okay, the average 401k contribution is probably no more than like $300 a month, something like that. So this number is inflated by people who are doing astronomical amount of money every single year. But right now, it's saying the average 134,128. I'm going to say the true number is, if you remove the millionaires and you remove the multi six-figure earner, I'm going to say the true number is probably like 56,000. That's probably the true number. And that's a scary thing to realize. And I sit down with people every day and I ask them, hey, so why are you not saving any money? Most people will tell you things that, oh, it's hard to save money. Oh, I have this going on, hold the kids. But I don't know if I 100% believe that. Because, as a matter of fact, I heard that Taylor Swift had a tour. And I believe by the time the tour was over, she made about $1 billion. I don't know how true that is, but this is what I heard. Now, in my mind, I'm like, so for her to make the billions of dollars that she made for these tours, people had to go to her shows. And these shows are costing $500 a ticket, $600 a ticket, $800 a ticket, some in the thousands, depends on where you're sitting. And these are the same people who have limited long-term savings. These are the same people who have limited long-term savings. It's going to be some rude awakening in this country in the next few years. There are going to be people who, if they're in their 40s now, 10 years from now, are going to have major regrets. The new thing now that people are saying is, oh, you only live once and let me enjoy my youth. And I'm okay with that. I actually rock with that. I understand that. But here's the problem, though, that I want you to consider. Is it okay to enjoy your youth and then ultimately be destitute in your senior years? It's just a question. I want you guys to think about it for a second. Is it okay for me to enjoy my youth, spend all my money right now, and then become destitute in my latter years? It's a scary thing. And again, I'm in the field every day. I'm seeing people as I leave the house. I know what's about to happen to them. I feel bad for them. And I'm just like, man, like, how are these people going to make it? I would immediately put myself in their shoe and say, man, how would I be able to survive this if this is me? How would I be able to survive this if this was me? Listen, if you guys are watching this right now and and can you just comment in the chat? Let me know if, and no matter what age you are right now, whether you're 18 years old, 20 years old, 30 years old, let me know, have you actually seriously considered retirement? Like, seriously thought about, man, I need this amount of money. I want to stop working at this age. I want to live here. I want to live there. Have you seriously considered that? Because most people do not. Most people spend more time planning for groceries and a party than they do planning for their retirement. I don't know what happened to this generation, because the baby boomer owns everything right now in America. But when you talk to the baby boomers, though, because I do talk to them a lot, and they'll tell you the difference between them and this new generation is they plan. This new generation is all about spend, and spend even more. So it's no wonder why the boomers own everything. It's no wonder why they have majority of the wealth. It's no wonder why they have the biggest 401k balance, the biggest IRAs. Like this new generation that we are in is going to be less wealth transfer by the time we leave out of here compared to when the baby boomers leave out of here. The baby boomers are going to transfer so much wealth when they leave out of here. And I'm almost afraid to know that the wealth that they transfer to this new generation is going to be blown. Because this new generation is, to me, it's an I don't care generation. I want to live for today. This is this new generation. I know people right now who do the whole traveling thing, and they absolutely have no rights. And I said the word, no rights to be traveling. You know, I follow quite a few successful people. It's one gentleman in particular that, because I'm in sales, and I purchased a lot of his book. And the reason why I'm where I am today is because I follow some of their ideas and practice in this book. But I was watching one of his show one day, and this man said that he didn't take his first vacation until he saw $1 million in his bank account. And vacation mean like a real vacation. Not, oh, I'm going to Miami for the weekend. Oh, I'm going to Virginia Beach for the weekend. Oh, I'm going to, Palm Beach or whatever. No, no, no. We want like a real vacation, like Hawaii, like St. Thomas, like, out of the country, places like that. Right? He didn't take his first real vacation until he became a millionaire. Now, some of y'all listen to that and say, oh, that's extreme. I can't live my life like that. That's fine. But this gentleman now is worth over $500 million. He said he spent majority of his youth building his wealth so he can enjoy his mid-year to his senior year. A lot of us, the reason why we're spinning our wheels and it seems like nothing is changing for us is we don't plan for the future. As the money come in, goes right back out. You're going to immediately start to plan a trip. I know a lot of people who got tax money this year. And I use it. I look at these tax refunds as America saying, hey, we're going to help you find a way out. And we're going to give you this money every tax season. Even though they've taken some of it from you, but they're giving some back in a lump sum. And I believe if everybody look at it that way, like, hey, listen, I'm getting this money every single year. Let me do something productive with this. I believe if a lot of people did that in a 10-year period, they will have some form of financial security. If they took their money and invested it, if they saved it, if they paid off debt and start to accumulate wealth. Think about it for a second. My average client are either husband and wife with children or single parent, right? Especially single moms, right? So we look at most of the time, let's say single moms. Let's say they have 3 children. On the average tax return, it's about $8,000 to $9,000. Every single year, that money is gone. They go shopping. They don't get their hair did, their nails did, probably buy a new car, or they're going to travel somewhere, buy new clothes. Every single year. If you took $8,000 and you put it in an interest earning account, let's say 5 or 6% for 10 years, you possibly can have a little bit over 200 grand. Give or take. But most people don't want to wait for that. Most people don't want to be disciplined. Most people don't want to be disciplined. And then oh my God, 10 years so long. I've been in business now for 16 years. It don't seem like it. This is the fastest 16 years I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, this is crazy. Like, it came by so fast. I can remember going to the first meeting. It was almost like it was yesterday that I went to the first meeting. And now I'm like, man, this is 16 years ago? I got clients who are with me from 16 years ago and say, Max, I've known you for 16 years. I'm seeing their kids go to college. 16 years. So time is going to come either way. So to me, I'm not saying don't enjoy life. I'm not saying that. But I'm but what I'm saying is like don't blow all your money. Because I honestly don't know who wants to work forever. I just don't. But at the direction that we're going now, a lot of people are going to be forced to work forever. They're going to die working. If think about it, if 20% of the people between the age of 50 and 66 have zero retirement savings, what's the likelihood of them working forever? It's very high. It's a high chance, a high likelihood that they will work forever. And that's a scary thought process, at least in my mind. And for me, for Maxwell, knowing that I have to wake up at 70, 75. I was reading an article the other day, and I'm not, yeah, I don't think I have it, but it was a lady who was working at 80 something years old, and she was saying because she has no retirement saving and she's tired. Reading it made me feel a certain way. Reading it made me say, you know what? Yeah, let me get rid of some of these credit cards. You know what I'm saying? Let me shrink this down. Let me get rid of this. Reading the article. And she's not the only one. Trust me, she's not alone. She's not alone. So I kind of want to share that with you guys, right? As I transition into going into, listen, if you don't have any money saved up, or if you're just getting started, but you're up there in age, okay? I'm gonna go over a few places you can retire to and live comfortably with minimal income. Now, if you're watching me today and you haven't subscribed, this is your first time seeing me, and if you see or hear any value as to what I'm speaking on today, please just subscribe to my channel because I drop a lot of knowledge. If you feel as though you know people that need to hear what I'm speaking on, please share with them. And again, if you like yourself what I'm speaking on, just hit the thumbs up. I really appreciate you for that. All right. Now, also, I've been in the financial service industry now for 16 years. Over 3,000 plus clients on the books, heading towards 4,000 by the time this year is out. And I've insured a lot of my clients in reference to life insurance with over $350 million of death benefit, okay, and roughly over $20 million in investments on the book. So I help gear clients towards retirement, help them start to plan towards retirement, especially tax-free retirement. Now, why is that important? If you're and this is across the board for anybody, but especially if you're starting so much later in life, you're gonna need every single penny that you saved. So you can't afford to put your money in a risky account or a taxable account. See, a younger person can probably invest in a 401k, even though I wouldn't suggest it. But if that's what they chose to do, they chose to do. So let's say they're 25 years old and they fund the 401k. Well, they got 40 years of savings. Okay? If they're consistent with that, they're going to grow an astronomical amount of money in that, and then but taxes will ultimately come out. Compared to a person who is 50 years old, for example, and it's just now starting, and then you get to the age of 65 and you only have $300,000 saved, and half of that is going to IRS. You want to avoid that at all costs. All right. So listen, if you're interested in learning more about that, you can actually text me at 443-208-5480. That's 443-208-5480. Or you can actually go to my site, which is TitanEvolutionGroup.com. That's TitanEvolutionGroup.com. Or you can email me at evolve@TitanEvolutionGroup. Let me quickly go over places that you can move to if that's your only option. I know a lot of Americans are not willing to leave America. You know, there's a safety with America. There's some security with America. They have the best health care, but sometimes, you know, desperate time calls for desperate measures. So I just want to give out some information to some people who may want to consider, you understand, moving out of the country if their pockets is saying they can survive here. Okay, number one place is Hessler Mujeres, Mexico. You can live there a month. That's your housing, food, transportation, internet, all that stuff, anywhere between $2,500 to $3,500 a month. Okay, so let's say you gain your Social Security at $1,900 a month. Okay, that's about $2,000 right there. Then you got to come up with another $1,500. So let's say now you're drawing from let's say your 401k is $140,000. Now you're drawing from that, let's say about $1,000 a month. You know, out of that, you know, that should last you a good 15 plus years. Okay, so you do have that option there. But again, even with some of these destinations, because last year when I did this, the numbers were lower than this, which means now, because the thing is, for example, if we use the United States, for example, Georgia, especially Atlanta, Georgia, was very inexpensive to live at. Then there was a major migration. You have people from up north, New York, Connecticut, Massachusetts, the DMV, DC, Maryland, and Virginia start to migrate towards Georgia. All of a sudden now, Georgia rent skyrocketed. Georgia property skyrocketed. Okay, the same thing with North Carolina. People was going to North Carolina. Now the prices there skyrocket. So with people knowing that, hey, I can take my money and go elsewhere, of course, by default, those places are going to start to increase their pricing because we have more population coming in. Okay, so number one is Mexico. Hessler Mujeres, Mexico. That's number one. Number two is Bali, Indonesia. You can live in Bali for $2,000 a month. And again, that's pretty much your everyday living, $2,000 a month. Okay? Then Thailand, which is a far flight. You understand? So that's about $1,500 to $2,500 a month. Right? This is one of my favorite places. Greece. You can live in Greece, which I was surprised to see this, but with $1,900 a month, you can live well in Greece. $1,900. Okay. Number five, if you don't want to leave the States, or at least if you don't want to leave, you know, it's outside of America, but it's an American territory, right? Puerto Rico is a beautiful place. It's a beautiful place. Only thing you have to worry about, you know, that particular place is the hurricane and stuff like that. That does happen every once in a while over there. But for $2,700 a month, you can live in Puerto Rico and live well. So which means you grab your Social Security and $1,900 a month, and all you gotta do now is come up with an additional $800 a month, $900 a month to offset living in Puerto Rico and living well. So you know you get your Social Security. So let's say I sit down with you and we put together a plan that can help you generate an additional 200, 300K that you save up. So let's say you're 50 and you save up to 200, 300K by the time you're 65 years old. Yeah, you can live well. You could take that plus your Social Security and go to Puerto Rico on a beautiful island with beautiful beaches and beautiful people and natural food for $2,700 a month. And you're still within the confines of the United States. Okay? The next one is Dominican Republic. You can live in Dominica, another beautiful place, for $2,500 a month. Okay? Vietnam, far flight, is on the list. Is the lowest cost place. I don't know if too many people are willing to go all the way out there to list. Some people will. Some people love Vietnam, but it's only $1,000 a month. So your Social Security alone will allow you to live in Vietnam and live well and still have $900 to $1,000 left to your name every single month. Okay? Malta, $2,300 a month. So your Social Security at $1,979, an additional $400 a month from somewhere else. Okay? Next one is one of my favorite places with beautiful island and beautiful beaches is Belize. But Belize is expensive. And last year, I believe the number to live comfortably there was only $2,800, I believe, if I remember that correctly. Now, to live comfortably, like ultra comfortable, is about $4,457 a month. That's almost like living over here in the States. And let me pause on that too. I did a video a couple of months ago. Okay? They're saying to live comfortably in the United States. Okay? In the mainland, at least. So, in the mainland, so excluding Hawaii, excluding Puerto Rico, places like that, right? St. Thomas, you're gonna need. So we're talking about the mainland itself: Maryland, DC, Virginia, Texas, California, Mississippi, mainland, right? You're gonna need $1.5 million to $2 million to live comfortably. Now, if you want to live in Hawaii, which is also part of the United States, you're gonna need close to $3 million to live in Hawaii comfortably. If you want to live in California comfortably, you're going to need close to $2.5 to $3 million. If you want to live in Massachusetts, New York, even throw Maryland in there, you're going to need $1.5 to $2 million. So some of these places I'm reading off to you, you might end up not needing that amount of money if you haven't saved that amount of money. Okay. Number 10 is Panama. You can live in Panama for $2,700 a month. And again, the number for Panama also went up. Because I remember Panama, probably you could live in Panama for 15, I think I remember $1,500 to $1,700 a month as of last year. Now it went up to $2,700 a month because people are packing up and they're leaving. So as people are leaving, the price is going to go up. So when I tell people that you got to figure out some sort of a way to start to generate money and put money away, because prices are not going to stay the same. Cost of living is not going to stay the same. It's going to go up. It's going to go up. And you cannot say, well, I can pack up. Even I know I'm going to do a video about this, about the 10 top places in Africa to retire to. Because I have a lot of African clients and I'm around a lot of African people, and they tell, oh, I'm going to just go back to Africa. And I say to them, like, so you don't think cost of living will go up in Africa too? if everybody's going back there, like you don't think they're gonna increase their prices too? You understand? So instead of doing the responsible thing and saving money, you rather want to be irresponsible and spend money in hopes that things stay the same by the time you are done. It doesn't make sense. And life don't work that way. So listen, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope this makes sense to you. My whole purpose is to educate the people out there and gear you towards thinking a little bit different, gear you towards saving for retirement and starting now and not later. A little bit of something grows into something big later. You understand? I saw a young lady who is a nurse right now, but she's going back to school to get her master's and her PhD and things like that. And we got her started, with something small, with the ultimate goal for her to start to save about $1,000 to $1,500 a month because she wants to retire at 55. So she actually want to retire in 15 years from now, and she want a couple of $1 million in retirement. Okay, but again, she started with what she can right now, and then over time we're going to increase into the savings. You understand? So everybody, I personally believe everybody can save towards retirement and have a decent retirement. Some people may not be able to stay in the States. Some people may not be able to stay in their state. So for example, if you're living in California and you love California, but you know you can't retire in California, you may have to pack up and go to Texas. You may have to pack up and go to Mississippi, Tennessee. You may have to pack up and go to Vietnam or Malta or Puerto Rico. Who knows? Okay, but there's always option. But along with having option, you also got to do your due diligence and your pre-planning, so that way you can have a wider range of options. Listen, again, if you guys are in need of my service, if you want to go over savings and options for you, long-term planning, life insurance, annuity, retirement, things like that, again, text me at 443-208-5480. That's 443-208-5480. Other than that, guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys for logging in and getting on with me. And I'll talk to y'all soon.